pick up the laundry, no pass interference. How often do we see that? And the Bucs survive 25-23. Referee Brad Rogers had this to say on the overturned call, quote, the communication between the side judge and the down judge was that the defender contacted the receiver simultaneously as the ball came in. And in order to have defensive pass interference, it has to be clearly early and hinder the receiver's ability to make that catch. Adam Schefter and Dan Orlovsky join us now with much more on that controversial call. And, you know, Bruce Arians thought picking up that flag was the right call, Adam. Joe Judge thought the initial penalty was correct. Adam, what more can you tell us about the pass interference being overturned?
Kevin, it was a call that could have gone either way. The side judge who threw the penalty flag met with the down judge after the play, and they made the determination to pick it up at that point in time that, as you read, the ball arrived simultaneously with the defender. You can take a look at it yourself and make the determination about whether Winfield got there early or not. But after discussions between the side judge and down judge, they determined that it was there the same time, and that they felt was the right thing to do, pick up the flag.
You don't often see the flag picked up right there after a conversation. Dan, what did you see on that play?
Well, first of all, it's not pass interference. I agreed with picking up the flag. It was not pass interference. But I want to go to the play because, yes, Daniel Jones is late. And so, first of all, why is he late? See that hitch right there, Kev? Like that little gathered hitch. He's trying to think when he should not be thinking of that play. So, first of all, he is late. But also, you're in that bunch receiver set to the right side of that screen, like that triangle of those three receivers. They're there for a reason. Their number one job is to create traffic for that trailing defender. Winfield gets through there unscathed. And so if everyone wants to blame Daniel Jones because he's late on the throw, that's totally fine. He is. But we also need to look at those Giants receivers and go, we put you into that set to do one job. You only had one job. David Pollock's kind of gig, right? His scheme. You had one job, and they didn't create any traffic. So there is much to blame for that play being unsuccessful as Daniel Jones being late with the football.
Okay, we'll see how this plays out for the Giants. Just one win on the season. It could have been number 2 there, Adam. Thank you very much. Dan will be back in a moment. But first, Al Palantonio and the Bucs escaping with that win last night.
Here we go to tie the game. Jones throwing for it, and it is knocked away.
Maybe it's the mere sight of those uniforms.
And one of the biggest upsets in NFL history, the Giants have beaten the previously unbeaten Patriots and have won Super Bowl 42.
Or the omen of Daniel Jones' first NFL win last season in Tampa.
Spot, kick on its way, and it's no good, he missed it, and the Giants win their first game of the season. Daniel Jones broke the curse. Wow!
We made enough plays to win the game. Never apologize for winning. We did not find energy fast enough, and we got hit in the mouth.
We need to execute a lot better. I had guys open that I missed, and I got to hit those guys that are open.
Maybe Tom Brady and the Bucs felt trapped between a big win in Vegas and the looming showdown with the Saints on Sunday, while waiting for Antonio Brown to provide some badly needed fireworks.
He's an unbelievable receiver, one of the best all time, and he's going to help us a lot. Hopefully take some double teams off of me and just make plays like he's always had.
Brady takes the snap and retreats. He looks left. He fires the back shoulder. Down! Touchdown, Patriots!
Whatever it was, with a little help from 2 Daniel Jones interceptions, Brady and company finally got a win that was much more challenging than it had to be.
The interceptions were huge for us. The touchdown to Gronk, he made a great catch because the ball got tipped at the line of scrimmage. Mike's was an incredible catch. So we obviously didn't play the way we were capable tonight. It's still good to go get a win. 6-2, going to have to keep learning and understand what we got to do better and then go execute a lot better.
In a team meeting before the game, Bruce Arians put it right up on the blackboard. He warned his team about the Giants, reminded them of what happened last year. The Giants came back in the second half. Don't fall into the trap, Arians warned. Luckily this year, the Bucs had Tom Brady and got out of town with a win. Barely.
Barely, but hey, a win's a win, right? Dan, I mean, this game ended up being a lot closer than really anybody thought it would be. You've said before, the Buccaneers, you believe they are the best team in the NFC.
Yes.
So what is your biggest takeaway from that?
Well, I was actually more impressed with the Bucs last night with the way the game went than I would have if I had the 31-7 blowout that I expected because, you know, like you got to have championship medal. For them to go on this championship Super Bowl run and be really a 1 seed, you have to be tested. And this was one of those games where they did not play well. They didn't have their A game. But can you find a way to win when you don't have your A game? I remember a couple weeks ago, Sage, where they played the Chargers and they were down 24-7 and Bruce Arians was like, you know, if this was last year, we would have lost that game. But yeah, I mean, you're going to lose most games that you're down 21-7. This was the game that if it was last year, you would have lost that game because Tom Brady doesn't panic. He doesn't get impatient with the football and turn the ball over. And that's really the difference of the game. And then when you needed to go make the plays, at the end of the game, you go on that great drive, a couple play action passes, and he hits Mike Evans for that game-winning or game-securing touchdown. That, to me, that's a different team. Yeah. That's a team that's been tested and knows how to win ugly.
And again, they'll take the ugly.
Sure.
He sets that tone, and it just feels different in Tampa, which is why they're off to their best 8-game start since 2002, which was when they won their Super Bowl. Just a couple years ago. Yeah. Big one Sunday night at home against the Saints. Thank you, Dan.
Now we're following a developing story. The NFL Competition Committee expects to present a resolution to owners that includes a 16-team playoff scenario in the event games are lost because of the pandemic. League sources telling Chris Mortensen the contingency plan, which could become more likely as a bye weeks disappear now, would feature 8 playoff teams from each conference. So if the field expands to 16, no team would receive a first-round bye, and everyone would play in the opening round. Based on the current standings, the Steelers would get the 1 seed in the AFC and open up against the Raiders. The Seahawks will earn the top seed as things stand now in the NFC. Seattle would take on the 8-seeded Bears in round 1. Tony and Mike have much more. Here's a bonus PTI segment.
Hi, Wilbon. Would you be okay with the NFL expanding to 16 playoff teams this season?
Tony, I'm not going to boycott it. I'm going to watch and be interested, but they don't need that. They don't need it. It's just more. And, you know, I covered the NFL at a time where they had by far, you know, the fewest number of playoff teams, and they bragged about it.
Yeah.
They felt good about it. They identified with it, and they would, you know, wear their ring on the nose of other sports and say these people have too many and these people have too many. Look at us. It's harder to get in our postseason than anywhere. And now, if you go to 16, you got half. You got essentially what you got in hockey and not baseball actually, but basketball. So I don't care for it. Do you?
It's not that I particularly care for it. It's that I've come to understand it because of what we're living through.
Yeah.
I watched baseball do this. Baseball expanded in a way that I thought was unnecessary, but it seemed to work for baseball. I think baseball's going to try and keep it. What I'm fearful of is if the NFL does this, they too will try to keep it. I just wish that leagues would come out and tell the truth that this is for money.
We're not doing
this
that.
is where the money is. The
Not doing
playoffs and the television, this is where the money is. If you say that, I'm okay with it. In this particular year, if you make the appeal that it's a strange year, I'll say okay. But then promise me you'll go back next year,
but
and
Tony,
they won't make
the
that
difference
promise.
here is baseball was shortened. Its season was shortened.
That's right.
Dramatically. Football doesn't have that. They lost a couple of preseason games, which you call exhibitions.
But Mike, this is if it is short. If they don't play 16, if I understand that correctly. So
we're done. Back to you.